touring PGA Pro, Braden Thornberry, is here in studio, which, you know, I remember years ago, I was at SEC Media Days, and I was interviewing Jay Barker, and this was after Saban won his first national championship. And Jay Barker got to live off of being the last national championship Alabama quarterback. Like, it was 1992 all the way to, like, the 2000s. I mean, it was a long time before Jay Barker had to surrender. But so he was the last guy. So we get to live that life as Jay Barker, the last one. How does it feel now that another Ole Miss Rebel has now become the last national champion in college golf? This
Lasasso.
Yeah,
Michael Lasasso.
Have you seen this guy, by the way? They kill him on Instagram. He wears short shorts, and they call him like the quad god. He wears short shorts, and he gets really low when he swings, and he kills the ball.
So one of my best friends is like acting as like his agent. You know,
oh,
college
really?
kids have that. Yeah, and he's like, I'm glad he has something. Like, any sort of branding is good, though. Like, it puts him apart. So even though it's like I wouldn't wear the shorts, he's like, it's good for branding and stuff.
What's his name?
Michael Lasasso.
By the way, just
Lasasso. Go look him up and watch him swing a golf club. It's crazy.
Just for a subtle flex, I typed in Ole Miss golfer, and the first person that came to my Google machine.
There we go.
Was you.
See? So and that's why I say, do you resent him a little bit for winning the thing? Because you were the national champion.
Well, I guess so. One of my friends actually texted me about that. He's like, are you like kind of rooting against him because you want to still be? And I was like, my answer to that was, like, I feel like me winning, because like the program wasn't great before I got there.
Oh,
yeah. So I think
you set the stage. Yeah, you crawled so he could walk.
Exactly. I think we set the
Steve Kerr to the Mark Jackson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that it put it.
Look at this guy swing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Why is short so short?
Look. You watch him.
If you look at the comments, that's what everything is about. Is the shorts.
Everybody just kills him for his shorts.
Also, golf
because he wears 5 inches.
No, it's not like a trend. He just does it. I don't know what the deal is.
Because he's got the biggest quads on earth.
Yeah, I mean, he pulls them off more than some, I guess. But
hey, nobody swings like that.
No, it's
nobody.
Crazy.
He like dips down like he's doing a squat and then just snaps that thing.
He hits it far too. We played a good bit down in Oxford.
You played with him?
Yeah.
Is he cool?
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Except for the shorts. I'm
kidding. Hey, it's all marketable.
The chicks love it, bro. I bet the chicks down there love that, boy.
Hey, they like low scores, so
yeah, they do.
Whatever gets the job done.
Shout out to him.
And he, but that kid did win the national championship. What was that? 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, something like that. And he's playing in the U.S. Open right now. He got
so
that
do
got
you
him
get to if you win it?
Yeah. So when I won it in 2017, you got literally nothing. I mean, obviously like recognition and stuff.
Are you
nothing.
serious?
Now you get in the Masters, the U.S. Open. I think you get in the British Open, like all this stuff.
Wait, if you're the college golf individual champion, you now get it to play in majors.
Yep.
And what did you get? Like a trophy?
Yeah, I got a trophy, same as him, and then he's playing in the Masters next year, U.S. Open this week. Yeah.
You didn't get to play in any tournaments because of it?
Nothing.
Oh, that's crazy.
I think they kind of a couple years in a row, guys that did win NCAAs had a lot of success. They're like, oh, maybe we should start. Because it's been weird because the U.S. Amateur, like first and second place, would get in the Masters, U.S. Open, all that. And then NCAAs, no one did. So I thought that was always weird. So they finally changed that. I don't think it's an official, like if you win, you're not guaranteed in the Masters, but the last like 3 or 4 years, they have invited the NCAA winner. So it's not like an official thing like some of the others, but.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's talk about what you've been doing on tour because you hadn't been in studio since you were the top 10er in the what's it called?
Zurich.
Congratulations in the Zurich, right? So that was huge, and it was not long after you had this discussion with us, and you had described to us what it was like in terms of, you know, when you place, it takes money out of the kitty, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like you don't actually get a new check.
Yeah, we're still working on that right now.
You're still working against the money that they fund with you. All right, so you played in 25 events so far. We've got 7 cuts made. We've got 1 top 5, 1 top 10, or 2 top 10s.
One
right?
top 10. I don't have a top 5.
Okay,
Just 1 10.
I'm sorry. Okay. 1 top 10?
1 top 10.
1 top 10.
Yeah.
All right. And then we're 7 for 25 on the cuts made. How many of those?
These are wrong stats. I don't know where
what
you're
are you talking about right here?
They got fake stats online?
That
You were at
that's probably Corn
fakestat.com?
Ferry from last year.
What?
I wish it was as good as that.
Oh, here we go. 14 events played.
Yes.
14 events played. Okay, 4 of 14?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay,
and
so
then
we got
top 10 in Zurich. So
we
since
got-
we've talked, I've played, I think, 4 events, and I finished 10th at Zurich, and then like 40th in Dominican. So finally got some points a little bit.
Gotcha.
So that was kind of get some little momentum. I think I have like 55 points or something now, which actually puts you ahead of a lot of people, which is nice.
No, I think you're at what, 185?
Yeah,
Is that
something
right?
like that, yeah.
185 on the FedEx, and we got to
Yeah.
get to 70, right?
Yeah, our top 100 keeps full status. Top like 150 all stay on the PGA Tour.
Gotcha.
So that's like the week goal is finish top 150, obviously, because you stay a PGA Tour player. But the top 100, which is tough for rookies, there won't be many to do it. But top 100 is like the real goal of like you are a full PGA Tour player.
Okay, so wait, if we're keeping up on this 150 thing, right? This is the FedEx number.
FedEx
so you're
yeah.
185 right now. So when this season ends, if you are in the top 150, what happens?
It will be like a conditional status kind of thing.
Okay.
And I'll be kind of honestly close to a similar spot that I am this year because like the rookies don't have great status either. It'll be where like, instead of maybe playing 25 events, I get in 15 or something. So it's enough to like play well and then keep status for the next year. So like guys all the time that are full-on PGA Tour players will, finish 140, but then they play well the next year and they finish in the top 100 or 125 or whatever and like stay out there. So that's the 150 is the I don't want to call it realistic goal because 100 is very realistic too, but that's like the easy goal. Like that's the first thing. Check that off. Then we try to get top 100. Then we try to get top 70 for to come to Memphis and get in the playoffs and stuff. So that's kind of the progression. Yeah.
Okay, so 150 is the
stay on the PGA Tour.
That's where you're like when this season ends, you need to be in the 150.
Yeah.
If you're not, you have to play your way back to the PGA Tour.
Yes, that'd be back to the Corn Ferry if you finish 151.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
and that happens every year to a whole group of guys, right?
70 guys, 80 guys, probably. Yeah.
So that Zurich thing was
That
massive.
was big to get back in the mix to where like now if I'm playing in Detroit in like a week and a half, you go finish. I don't know, have a good week there, finish top 10 there. I'll be kind of right on that line.
That's
so it's
Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
So that one, it's everything's so close because there's just 200 people that are all playing the same tournaments. The point you move up, you get 10 points, you move up 15, 20 spots. So it's all so close. So hopefully I'm playing like 6 in a row coming up. So hopefully we'll get on a little run, which last year I kind of was struggling early, same thing. And then I think I finished like top 28 or so, like 6 events in a row in the summer. So hopefully we get on that same kind of path and get some momentum.
That's when you feel like you play your best.
Yeah.
Like you get in the groove.
Yeah, because like it's been kind of like shaky weather a little bit. And like that's not an excuse. I haven't been playing how I want. But like it's a little, you play 2 weeks, then you miss a week, all that kind of stuff, where this will be 6 in a row. I know what I'm doing. I know the schedule, have it planned out. So that's always kind of been when I've played my best golf. Hopefully that's the case this year. And
so how many of these cuts do you think you should have made? Like when you realistically look back, you go, dude, how did I miss the cut that week? Like of the events you've played in where you didn't play on the weekend, how many of those like bother you that you realistically think I should have been there?
I haven't really had any where I was like inside and like double the last hole or anything like that. But I've been, if you could look on there, I don't know if it says the scores, but I've just been shooting 70 or 71 like every tournament.
And that's not
like,
good enough on the PGA Tour,
it's
right?
like the courses are, it's not good enough on the Corn Ferry, but the Corn Ferry courses are easier. So shooting 70 and 71 is not that good necessarily. But like these courses are hard. Like there's 7,400 yards, rough both sides that you can barely get to the green. Like this last week in Canada, I mean, it was a hard golf course. And like we went out there, it was raining the first day, like 58 degrees, all that. And somebody just shoots 9. And you're like, that's just good golf. Like it's just like, there's no other way to put it other than that. Like I shot one over the first day and like really didn't play that bad, honestly. I was kind of middle of the pack. Like it wasn't like I was getting lapped or anything, but it just kind of shows like people are really good and you really have to play really well to beat people. Like it's the best people in the world. So it's just, you have to go do it.
Is there any of these that you have played in where you looked at the score and you're like, what the hell?
Dallas a little bit. Scotty shot like 32 or 31 under, and that course was like 7,500 yards, thick rough. Like because you see
what did you shoot?
I missed a cut. I was like 3 under or something for 2 days. Like played fine. Kind of was saying I shot 70, 71 or 70, 70.
But it's a ridiculous thing for the guy.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, he won by like 8, so like it's obviously an outlier. But like these golf courses, if you had a normal person play them like that from those tees, those conditions, everything, like they'd be like, man, this place is tough. And Scotty just goes shoot 63, 66, 62. Like it's just
well, and that's
golf.
where he grew up on that course too. There were like some extenuating circumstances and whatever else.
That was some good golf though.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. All right, have you played at Oakmont?
I've actually played like 13 holes there before it. I played and then it got rained out on like 13. But
was it for college?
No, I was playing like some tournaments or Monday qualifiers or something my first year as a pro, and they were like driving up through there through like Cleveland and then Pittsburgh, and then I know Bob Ford, who's like you've probably seen him on some of the coverage and stuff like the pregame stuff and all that.
Yep.
He's the head pro there. I guess that's his position, and he's the head pro at Seminole down in Florida. And I'd met him at Seminole, and I like texted him going through, and I was like, hey, like, he's like, I'll set you up with some members and do it. So that was cool, and I wish I'd have got to play the full 18, but honestly don't remember that much of it, though. It was like 6 years ago.
It looks miserable.
That day,
I mean, getting it out of that rough, like
Yeah.
when I watched yesterday and I was watching Shane Lowry and Rory McIlroy hit the ball 5 yards,
Yeah.
and they are taking the biggest hack they can at it, and it goes like it just dunk, like
Yeah.
5 more yards.
It's like-
I'm like, okay. this is-
anytime like normal thick rough, you can hit like a 9-iron out, hit it 110 yards or something, like in Canada, stuff like that. But like this week, it looks like you take a sand wedge and hit as hard as you can, it goes 40 yards. Like that's crazy for those guys, especially a guy like Rory or someone that has a lot of speed and stuff. I don't think I've seen some YouTube videos where people say like, oh, what would a 15 handicap shoot at Oakmont or whatever? But like they're playing it a few weeks before, no pressure, all this kind of stuff, and they're shooting 110 or whatever. I think if you played it in the tournament conditions on Thursday, it would be very, very high.
I'd never get the ball out of that.
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't think. You have to,
seriously,
like-
I'd never get the ball. It's so long.
Yeah. If you see a guy
You
like
can hard. They said they got 90 people spotting balls.
Yeah.
Because you can't see it.
Unless you're straight
it's so
on top,
far
yeah.
under like the weeds.
yeah, it looks really tough.
Yeah, I'm not with that.
I think it'll be based on the leaderboard right now. I think it's going to be, if everything stays the same, over par will win for sure.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I think so.
Right now, what
There's
is it?
only
Still
like-
Spawn?
There's like
Is
7 people under par total.
I think it's Burns. Burns.
He's
Spawn.
playing good today, isn't he?
Burns. He was 5 under for
Yeah,
the day.
that's going to be.
I mean,
around by a lot, probably.
that's making every putt.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's like that video you showed me of that John Rahm losing his mind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that looked like
see that.
that looked like an easy putt. You should do from mine.
They caught him on the mic screaming the F word. I love
He's
the
not afraid
live
to go
mic
after-
stuff. Yeah. Oh, one thing I meant to ask you. So last week, you remember the whole on social media, it went super viral that Max Homa was carrying his own bag, the longest day in golf, and Cam Young, got that spot for the U.S. Open or whatever. And so I was looking through all those qualifiers, and I saw your name. And did you withdraw?
Yeah, I didn't play any good the first round, and since I was playing Canada that week and I'd never played the course, most guys, if they're not going to get in through the third, they'll just like.
So you
there's no
knew?
Reason, yeah, there's no reason. I wasn't hurt or anything like that. There's no
Okay.
reason to play 36 holes and then have to play 18 the next day, then go into the tournament. So a lot of guys,
Gotcha.
I didn't play well the first round, and I would have had to shoot 9 under, 10 under, or something the second round because I was going to take like 7 or 8 under, and so I was like, I'm just going to like go rest, practice, went to register at the course and everything, so I was able to play.
So
the next
how does
day.
that work? Can you explain that to me, just from your perspective as a PGA Tour pro, when you've not qualified for the U.S. Open, and we see that stuff. Obviously, it's open to everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody can do it, but we do see these PGA Tour pros trying to get into the U.S. Open. Do you, if you're a PGA pro, are you paying for that the same way?
I think it's cheap. It's like $100 or $200 to try. It's nothing
To
crazy.
try to
yeah,
qualify.
It's something like that. But they, so like the U.S. Open is weird because it's only the top 60 in the world, and then like guys that have won majors in the past or whatever. Like there's
Yep.
probably 75, 80 guys that are exempt, and then the rest are all qualifiers. So like you could be set like.
You had to play your way into it.
Yeah, like unless you're an elite of the elite player, you're not in. Like Taylor Moore's ranked, I think he's like 90 in the world, one of my good friends, and he's like had to do qualifying and missed, and it's just not there. So it's like like the elite of the elite and then the qualifiers. So it's kind of a weird tournament, which we were talking the other day that it's kind of crazy that there's not one tournament that is just like the top 156 players in the world. Like there's, the Masters is only 85 people. PGA has a ton of the PGA pros, and then both the British Open and the US Open has all, 75 qualifiers.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of weird that there's not like one major that's just like truly the best players in the world all the way through.
Yeah,
It's
right.
kind of like no one thinks of that, but it's kind of weird.
So there's a cutoff.
Yeah, I mean,
You said there's only the top 60
Yeah.
get auto bids?
Yep. So Davis Riley, another one of my friends, he played good at the PGA, finished second, and that got him. He was probably 110 in the world or something. That got him in the top 60, so he was automatically in. But had he not finished second there, if he finished fifth, he's probably not in. So it's crazy how thin the line is there.
And then the only way to get in, so if you can describe to us, right? So like, let's just say, like the British.
Mm-hmm.
Is the only way you could get in the British if you won a tournament?
Win a tournament. They have a couple, like the ones coming up.
I mean, you specifically,
Yeah,
all right? Like,
there
how
is
could
qualifying
you?
the same
How could
way.
Braden Thornberry? How could we look up and you're playing in the last major?
So I'm not doing qualifying. So the only way, because it's like during other tournaments and stuff, the only way I will get in is if I finish, usually the couple tournaments before it, they'll have this like qualifying series, they call it.
Okay.
And it's like the top 3 finishers, say at Rocket Mortgage, that aren't in the tournament get in. Like if
really?
they're not already qualified. Yeah. So like, you finish top 6 or 7, a lot of times that'll get you in. So that's kind of a very realistic way to get in. Maybe, I don't know, not all the tournaments do it. I don't know how they decide, but maybe 3 or 4 tournaments heading into it right before. If you play well, then you can get one of those
Because the
spots.
Masters is super hard to get into, right?
Yeah, Masters is pretty much
you have to win a
top
tournament.
50 in the world or win. Yeah, and it has to be a full field. It can't be, like I said, Dominican earlier. If you win that, it doesn't get you in. Myrtle Beach doesn't get you in.
Oh,
It has to
really?
be a full field, 156 of the top guys in it.
You have to win, say, something like the
Yeah.
Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah,
and then,
something like that.
And then you're in the Masters, right?
Yeah.
But other than
that's
that.
really, that's the only way. Other than winning, NCAA's, USAM. There's some amateurs and stuff in there, but yeah, it's pretty. Those
U.S.
events are-
Open, you have to qualify. What about PGA?
PGA does top 100 in the world, and then there's a lot of the exemption stuff with winning majors in the past, and then there's 30 of those PGA professional guys in that one, like the Michael Blocks, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird that every major is a little different, and it's always got the top guys. The top 60 are always there.
Right.
But then after that, it does vary depending on the
Well,
tournament.
and plus you're adding in these guys from Live.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Those guys, obviously they've gotten the Roms and the Koepkas and the Phil Mickelsons and
Yeah, that's always-
those guys all get spots.
Yeah, people's what's interesting is the Masters is probably everyone, that's the tournament they'd want to win if they can win one.
Sure.
But it's you could argue it's probably the easiest just because there's only 85 people and it's not all pros. It's amateurs, old people, Bernhard Langer will play, Sandy Lyle, stuff like that. So there might only be 65 guys that are competitive and trying to win the tournament. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I don't want to say
Because
it's
the
the
field's
easiest
sm-
to win,
but
it's,
the field is smaller.
yeah, it's the same
Just
as
the
these-
odds.
Yeah, the elevated events, it's the best players, but a lot of guys have said it's still harder to win against a PGA Tour field of 156 than the best 70. You know what I mean?
Right, because just randomness,
yeah, it's
somebody
just
can
easier.
shoot -9
Yeah.
like they did in Canada.
Yeah, somebody that's
And you're looking up and you're
Champ,
like-
Cameron Champ was the 8th alternate to get in Canada. He's playing on the Corn Ferry this year. And
Cameron
he,
Champ's on the Corn Ferry?
Yeah. He finished, I said, in 145 last year or something, and he hasn't been getting in events. So, and he's a past champion from 5 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's on the Corn Ferry, happened to get in Canada, shoots 9 under the first day. So it's you got to compete against everybody at those full field events where the 70, it is the best players and it is very difficult, but finishing 20th is easier in 70 people than it is 156, obviously. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic.
Wow. All right, let me ask you about this. So I was watching the Golf Channel the other night, and I have not talked to you about this yet, but I want to get your thoughts on it. And I'll explain it to these guys the best way I possibly can. So there's this huge debate in golf. The USGA kind of runs golf, right? The rules of golf, etc. And the USGA, Mike Wan, I believe is the guy's name, they want to roll back the ball. They say guys like Braden Thornberry and the rest of them, it's all, the golf is now turned into slam it out there and pitching wedge into the green, and now we're putting, right? And so they're not going to mess with the equipment much. They put limits on the equipment, but the best way in their mind is to roll back the ball. The players don't want to roll back. Nobody wants to roll back, right? But they're saying for the future of the game, this would be if the commissioner of Major League Baseball said we've got to change the ball, and either way, right? We've got to make it hotter so that we get more home runs, or we've got to deaden it because we've got too many home runs, whatever the case may be. But they're basically saying we want to go back to a ball that, and of course the golf ball companies hate this too, right? And because now the golf ball companies have to change literally everything they do. And
Zillions of dollars on
And so then there's this whole, it's called bifurcation, which would basically mean that guys like Braden and guys that are on the PGA Tour or guys that are in the Corn Ferry, the pros, right? They have to use a different ball. They're using a different ball, but everything else stays the same for guys like me. Amateurs, you guys are all still using the same ball, but these guys are going to be using a different ball, which a lot of people support because they say those guys play different tees and those guys have better equipment, and different equipment than everybody anyway. And honestly, the problem is not with amateur golf. Right? Amateur golf, the best thing to do is be able to hit the ball farther, and everybody sells speed and distance anyway. Whereas on the PGA Tour, if you're trying to roll something back and change the game to make it a more skill-based game, right? Instead of just who can... Because there's going to come a time where a guy like this, Lasasso or whatever, there's going to be somebody come along that hits the ball friggin' 380 yards, right? And so that's, and their idea is the athletes.
There really is going to be a Happy Gilmore.
No, the athletes in this just keep getting bigger and stronger, and they swing speeds. And you saw what Bryson did. I was watching yesterday. Bryson hit a 5-iron 307 yards off the tee.
Yeah.
I said, what the? My 5-iron goes 190 yards.
Yeah.
307.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not the same.
There's levels.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're not the same. Like you're probably tour average right now, right? But you consistently drive the ball over 300 yards carry, right?
I carry it like 295 probably. It's averaging 310 or 15. Yeah.
3 or 10 or 15, right? That's not what anybody I play with, maybe one guy, but like that's just not what amateurs do. But the pros are all against this bifurcation. They don't want a different ball than everybody else.
Yes.
And so they don't want the different ball than everybody else. And now everybody's basically standing up against the USGA. And everybody's kind of aligned themselves saying, yeah, USGA saying, we want to do this, and this is what's best for golf. And everybody else is saying, don't do this. And then the pros are saying, but we don't want to have one ball for us and one ball for everybody else. It's all just a mess, right? This whole ball rollback controversy. And so I watched the whole debate that was going on Golf Channel the other night, and I want to know, as a PGA Tour player, where you kind of stand on this whole, when they're talking about rolling back the golf ball to make it less hot and make the game a little bit different.
I don't totally have a side yet, but what I will say, I don't think the bifurcation is the way at all.
You don't?
I don't think, because so like Lasasso, he wins NCAAs. Are they playing it in that tournament or no? And then like the next week, if he's playing in the U.S. Open, he's just got to play a whole different ball that he's ever played. So that's the tricky part, is like playing with a ball for 15 years. It's like, all right, I'm turning pro because I'm so good with my game, and then you have to play a completely different product that you never played. I think that's the biggest part. Like, Monday, a guy Monday qualifies in. It's like, all right, here's your ball you never played before. So like stuff like that, I think that's probably the biggest problem. And the whole thing
because you would have to cut off competition.
Yeah, like what
ball
competitions would
versus,
include that?
It's like playing basketball. Like you hoop with a 29 all your life.
Yeah.
From high school, like college, and you get to the league, they're like, you're gonna play with 30 now.
Yeah.
You're playing with a bigger ball because it's bigger athletes.
Right when you go pro, it's like, here's game one. Go ahead.
Good luck shooting this heavier ball,
Yeah.
bro. And you're like, God.
You're like, I've literally been working my whole life to dial in what I got here.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
so
no,
that's
It's like baseball. I mean, like minors and majors, you're using a wooden bat. The rest of the time you play baseball, college, little league, like you're using a metal
which
bat.
I think even
The
those
other
things
thing,
wouldn't
think
make
about-
as big of a difference as
Yeah.
golf, because it's like you're using it every time. You have to be so precise. Like,
Think about how painful it would be, though, to like, I mean, and this is why they say governance is hard. That's what the guy keeps saying.
Yeah.
Because, bro, I bet I have 200 golf balls at my house, right? Like, and everybody's got golf balls that plays golf.
It
and
causes
it's like,
a lot of problems.
no, but what I'm saying is, how long till those sift their way out, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not testing.
Guys are playing
we're
for
not-
10 years,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're not testing your golf ball, and then people are stocking up on golf balls for the next. I mean, you could theoretically have 20 years worth of golf balls.
Yeah, I have a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And then. What are they going to do? Test your golf ball? Like
Yeah.
you're using the old Pro V1, but the new Pro V1 doesn't go as far?
Yeah.
It
I
just
think-
seems like they got a mess on their hands.
What's
If
kind
they're
of-
gonna try to do
Yeah,
this.
what's interesting is I think too, golf is in a great spot. Like, I feel like about as good as it's been in a long time. Like, there's a lot of people are watching. People are loving it. More people are playing it. All that kind of stuff. So I think that'd be the most massive change like in golf history. So it just seems risky. But also, like, to what you say with Bryson, like, not everyone, one, can do what he did, and two, puts in the work to do what he did. So I think that, like, it's not like he was just born and can hit a 5-iron 300 yards, like you said. Like, he literally, for like a year and a half, gained 50 pounds, bulking, doing all this crazy gym stuff, drinking 8 protein shakes a day and all that.
And swinging the
yeah.
club literally,
Yeah.
like,
Probably swinging 300 times a day as hard as he can, all this crazy
there's
training.
a video you can find, and he's telling people how to hit the ball farther or whatever. Yeah. Bro, he's swinging the club as hard and as violently as he can, like 500 times in a row.
I don't know how he didn't get. I mean, he had a lot of good
Injured.
people around him that knew what they were doing with like the science part of
Yes.
it. But like,
Biomechanics.
so he was like, it's basically a 2-year thing. I'm going to gain all this weight, get as strong, bulky as I can, swing as far as I can. Now he's lost like 40 pounds. He looks great now. Like, he's kind of
like a regular guy.
thicker, but like in good shape. And like, that was a lot of work, and I think which you always will be rewarded, even if they make the golf ball shorter, he's still going to hit farther than someone else. But I think that like that's not always discussed about like in the part of like, yeah, he's hitting it far, but it's not just the club, like, or just the ball.
Right.
Like, he did a lot of work in like earned that advantage. Because like not every guy on the PGA Tour even is hitting it 300 in the air. Like there's a lot of guys that fly at 275 and like stuff like that. And I do see the USGA's part of like wanting more courses back in the mix and stuff. But at the same time, all these courses are taking trees out. Like you've seen Oakmont take all the trees out. The trees are the best real defense for golf, really.
And rough.
Because, yeah, even mainly the trees, though, because rough can honestly make the longer people more of an advantage. Because if everyone's hitting in the rough, that's what happened in Winged Foot when Bryson won. They made the fairways 18 yards wide. So the guy that hits at 280 and Bryson hits at 340 are all in the rough. So, of course, he has the advantage. So it needs to be like a good balance of like rewarding straight driving, where like, if there's trees right off the tee, Bryson can't hit it over the corner at 350. He's got to hit the 4-iron out here and stuff. Maybe he's hitting 4-iron when Brian Harman's hitting a 3-wood, but like they still have to play the same game. So I think there are other ways to combat it. I just think that no other sport like tones back technology when like people are liking everything that's going on in the sport. So I don't know. I just think they're not raising the rim because Giannis is 7 feet tall.
Do you buy that we're going to look up in 15 years though, and it's going to be ridiculous? Because now all of a sudden guys are... I
mean, people aren't hitting it that much farther than they were probably like 15 years ago, really. Like, if you look at it, it's like 6 yards. It's like, yeah, that's something, but is it I think they cap it where it is now. I just think the safest thing...
There's only a couple of Rorys that are hitting that ball 335 yards.
Victor Wembanyama shows up in golf.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Who's going to be the victor?
But like there's part of that is like, here's the golf course people play. And like we play a lot harder courses than the casual course. But like part of it, if Victor shows up and he can hit 400 yards, like that's because he's good, not because the course is too short necessarily. Like I think, going out and dunk on people, it's not because the rim's too short. You're just a beast. Like so there's part of that too. And I just think in an ideal world, the ball would go, say, 10% shorter, whatever it is. But I think they should have done that 15, 20 years ago instead of letting it get to the point now where like we got to take it back. I just think it just opens so many problems that I think they just don't need to do.
What about equipment?
They can make the driver smaller, probably. Like that would definitely make things harder. Because like right now,
harder.
Yeah, you can hit stuff a little off center, and if you're like swinging well, it still will like go in the fairway 300 yards. So like,
to me, that would be the easiest thing to fix is to make the driver head smaller, right? Even if you look back at like the Tiger stuff, I mean,
that's way easier than the ball.
That stuff, his driver looks like a hybrid now.
Like just make it's 460 cc's or whatever right now. Just say like 370 max or whatever. They could do whatever number they want. And the manufacturers, they're always making like new clubs. That wouldn't be that hard. Like all the companies are making mini drivers and stuff now.
The other thing is, I say this as somebody who's not good. You get some of these new like fairway woods and hybrids, it's almost impossible to suck.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. They're that hot.
Yeah.
I went and hit some of those the other day, and I mean, they all just...
Yeah, all the companies make
and
good
you
stuff
don't
right
even
now.
have to hit it on the face.
Mm-hmm.
And they fly, and the dispersion's short.
Yeah, I think that's
crazy.
Definitely a misconception because no one, I feel like, talks about the driver and stuff. They all talk about the ball. But like the ball from like 15 years ago is not, I mean, it is different. It'll fly straighter now and like with a little bit.
Yeah.
But I just don't think I think if you made the driver smaller, if you're going to do anything, but I really don't think the distance is as bad. Like how stuff goes, like pace of play was the big thing people were talking about last year, early in the year. It's like stuff kind of comes in and out. Like when I play a golf course, like last week in Canada, I'm not like overpowering the golf course. Like maybe Rory is, but again, I don't care if some people are, if that's your strength. Like, if my strength's putting and his is driver, like I don't care if he overpowers a certain hole. Like I think it's part of having skill. But like I just don't think the courses we play are necessarily everyone acts like everyone's hitting driver lob wedge every hole. Like a lot of these holes are 490 and you have 210 in and stuff like that. Like it's not like even like Spring Creek, you play the back tees, like you're not hitting driver wedge every hole. All the par threes are 220. Like so I don't know. I think that yes, you do lose some courses that are in downtown, maybe like a Memphis Country Club, stuff like that. But like I don't know, other sports you just don't compare to what like worked in 1950. You know what I mean?
Are you married to your golf ball? Have you used the same one forever?
Yeah, I've always used pretty much a variation of the Pro V1X.
Yeah. You'll like this, Dev. I wonder, like, how like some guys, especially basketball guys, like they might be married to a type of shoe or they might be whatever, right? I'm always interested. Do you think, so you use what?
Pro V1X.
Okay. If I just gave you a Callaway Chrome Tour, do you think it makes any difference for you?
For sure, yeah.
You do?
Yeah, for sure. They're a big difference, yeah. I mean, you could figure it out with it, and like a lot of guys play good with it, obviously.
I'm saying if we went out today and I just said, no, you're using these, You think it would have a profound effect on your game?
I mean, I could shoot a good score with it, but it certainly on the first couple holes, I'm going to see differences in height, spin. Maybe it's worse in the wind or whatever. It definitely is a lot different.
That big a difference to how
I mean,
married you
for
are
example,
to it.
just the Titleist Pro V1X is very different year to year. So I played the 2023 one still because the 2025 is a little spinny, and the 2021 was super spinny. Like I couldn't even hardly get it through the wind. Like it would hurt it 15 more yards than the one I'm playing right now. And then like the left dash, I don't know if you've seen that. Like it goes probably 10 yards farther with like a 5-iron than like mine. Like it makes a big difference if you're on TrackMan or something, actually looking at the spin rates and ball speeds and all that. It's a big difference. Not to say they're not consistent.
Because and you think that's the thing and the reason I'm bringing this up is because the ball is like that's the controversy right now. As much as you want to say it's a controversy, the discussion, the debate they're having a lot on the Golf Channel in the golf world, and it all came to a head obviously because everybody's there at the U.S. Open, so everybody spoke about it. I was telling these guys the other day, right? There was this caddy that. And I saw, I watched this video of Scotty Scheffler, and he was with like those, the foreplay guys from Barstool, right? And he had to use Trent's clubs.
Yeah.
I mean, he's throwing friggin' darts at everything. And it's like, okay, like, it's me.
Yeah.
Right. And I've had that happen before, right?
Trent was like, damn.
Right. I've had that happen before where I told them we had a caddy for this event. It was a college golfer. And I was like, hey, man, just go ahead. You can hit the drive on this one. And he got out. He hit the damn thing 350 yards down the middle. And I was like, okay, so it's not my driver, right?
Something's going on here.
And so I wonder, right? Do you think it would have a bigger effect if you had to go play with my clubs today or my ball today?
What ball do you play?
If it's a different ball. Let's just say I have a Callaway Chrome Tour.
I would say,
which is a bigger difference for you.
I would rather play a different ball with my clubs than my ball with your clubs. It's kind of weird. Like you play so much to me. Like the Pro V1X, the 2023 is like kind of the perfect ball for me.
Gotcha.
And like to me, it's like the ball is zeroed out. Like everything else is a factor, but like I know exactly what it's doing. So it's nice to have like everything, like the wind, I can only worry about the wind. I don't have to worry about this coming out different than I think and all that. So like if I played a different ball, if you gave me whatever, a Callaway Strixon, different Titleist, whatever, I do think it would be, I would know what the ball does already because I kind of know like why people play certain balls, if they're spinnier or launch higher or whatever. But I would rather play a different ball. If you gave me your clubs with my ball, like the ball's not going to like overcome like
my clubs.
Yeah, well, it's not even necessarily, I don't know what clubs you have, but it's not even necessarily
They're
the
pings.
clubs, it's the shafts. If I took your ping driver head and put like the shaft that I use in it, it would probably be fine for the day. Like
Gotcha.
It might not be as dialed in as what mine is right now, but like I think the shafts with like a driver makes a bigger difference probably than the head if I had to just go do, one round.
That's for sure. I can even tell you that because I was playing with these guys a couple weeks ago and the guy's like, just hit it with mine. And he gave it to me and it was like a senior shaft. Oh
yeah.
My God.
Have you hit those auto
I mean,
flexes?
it's like hitting the ball with a noodle.
Yeah, you have to like time it up.
Because there's just no way. Because seniors are trying to get more punch out there because they're not bringing the club back and swinging it hard.
Yeah.
So the thing, it bends. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if you swing it hard. Mm-hmm. So if anybody that swings it with any kind of velocity,
you can almost miss.
Thing just the thing just bends completely. Mm-hmm. Whereas a senior just. Ding.
Yeah, it's perfect.
He's just tinking it down the middle, right?
Yeah, for sure. Have you seen those AutoFlex shafts, those pink ones?
Nuh-uh.
They're like $900 or something crazy. But they're like, Adam Scott used it for a little bit, and like a couple people have tried it. But like they're a senior shaft, like flex times 3. And it's like for like high speeds though, and it feels crazy, but you can just rip it. Like if you on the range, it's amazing.
Legal?
It's legal, yeah. If you hit on the range, it's amazing. But like on the course, it's like terrifying because there's like water right, and you're feeling the club head just bend up there and everything. But you should try it one time if you
and
ever
it
see somebody.
snaps back.
It snaps back like perfect in theory. But you'll see like Adam Scott used it for like 2 weeks. And he's like, nah, I can't do this anymore. Like
because it feels weird.
You do get more speed though. Like at the time, I've hit like higher ball speeds now, but like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I'd never hit like 120 club head speed before. I always could get like 118, 119. First swing with that 121. Like first swing, like kind of cold everything. Like it adds speed. It's just like, it has to be more inconsistent when it's snapping that much and everything. But you should try it if you ever get the chance.
All right, so let me get your final say on the whole. You just wouldn't roll the ball back at all.
I just don't think it's worth it.
You just don't think.
I think I would rather it go.
You're against the rollback.
It's kind of a weird take, I guess. I would rather it go shorter, but I don't think it's worth it. I don't think the risk is worth the reward.
Oh, let me ask you another thing I meant to ask you when you mentioned the whole, because this was crazy. You said that, was it 2023 Titleist Pro V1X? So your Titleist gives you balls, right? Because you've got a Titleist deal. Do you have to tell them? Do they just have 2023s laying around?
Yeah, they have all the way back to, I think the.
Oh, so you request a specific year from them?
Yeah, because they have like, they're like, yeah, we have 17 ball. I don't know how many it is. Some like 17 ball variations you can play from, and most of them are the year. Like obviously, like there's 2 each year, so that might account for like 8. But then there's like the Pro V1X Star, the Dash, the Pro V1 Dot. Like there's all these different variations that are, and I think the Dash is the only one that's available like to the public. But because they are like subtle stuff. Like unless you're like really good, you're not gonna like see the difference. Like the Star's a little spinnier, the Dot spins a little less, and launches a little lower. So like stuff like that, it's good when you're like have people that are dialed in. But like for the regular golfer, they're still like Pro V1 and Pro V1X. They're just like tweaked a little bit.
Well, I'm saying you tell them I need more 2023 Pro V1X.
Well, they just have like if I need more at home, I just like text my guy and like he sends it and like they're super fast, like next day or 2 days.
How do you know they're 2023s? He just
the box looks different too.
Oh,
and
it does.
And the line on it is different too. You can always tell off that the little like stamp over the Pro V1X.
I'll be damned.
If you look at them, they're all completely different. But
I couldn't buy 2023s. Right?
I mean, no, you'd probably have to get off eBay or something. But they're very little difference in the years. But they just have it on my like file because the Titleist guys are there every week. So just in my locker, they put like 3 dozen of whatever ball you play every week, and they're always right in there, so it's nice.
Wow.
Whatever glove you play, whatever ball you play, whatever. So.
All right. On the whole, what do you got going forward? You say when do you start the 6 in a row?
So what's today? Friday.
Yeah,
so I'm leaving next Saturday to go up to Detroit. I'll play like. I don't know the order. Detroit, John Deere, the one in Kentucky, Reno, Minneapolis, and then something else. There's like 6 in a row coming up. So.
Have you played with anybody super cool yet?
I told you can't play with anybody hardly your rookie year. It's like
they don't put you with anybody. It's all just. It's people that they
got to
don't
be
think
up there on the final.
People that are going to get no galleries.
Yeah, I mean, we were near Rory. Yeah, we were near
Rory.
Yeah.
Did you wave to him?
Yeah, in Zurich.
Where are all those people going? I'm playing.
You wouldn't believe last week around Rory's group, and even though he shot 9 over or whatever, like there was probably 6 deep. There's this drivable par 4, like number 6 out there or something. It was 6 or 7 deeper on the entire hole. It was crazy. Probably half the fans on the whole golf course are there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
But
where has been the best crowd that you played?
Zurich, where
that
I played.
You're like, this is a scene. Like, this is fun.
Zurich was not the most people, but like, so I was with Hayden Buckley, who was my teammate. We're both from the South.
And they're
so
rowdy.
They liked us a lot. So that was probably the most on our team.
And you played great.
Yeah, so that was the most, like, we were in the mix. Like, when I was saying Rory, he was like the 2 groups behind us or something. So it was a lot of energy, people rooting for us and all that. Canada last week was a lot of people. Dallas was a lot of people. They're honestly all the ones that are like full field in big cities. I mean, I don't know what the number is. It's got to be 50,000 people or something like on the course. It's pretty. It's like honestly pretty chaotic out there. Like there's carts going everywhere, people walking, yelling at each other, concession. Like you definitely have to like learn to block that stuff out. Which luckily I'm not bothered by that stuff as much as some. But like,
have you had to respond to anybody in the crowd? Has anybody chirped you?
There was one in Dallas that. He was like, we were like one of the last through. It was like kind of that party hole, like number 16 at Scottsdale type thing. It was on 17 there. And like we came through late, so there wasn't quite as many people there. And this guy's like, yeah, this putt doesn't break left. Like people think everybody's missing it high or whatever. And like, you never know if you should listen or not because you don't know if they're like messing with you. And then like I walk off and like he's still chirping. I think it's just like a drunk fan or something. It's one of the volunteers like of the tournament. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Like you can't be like chirping people when they're literally like working the tournament. So that was probably the weirdest one of the year. But dude, honestly, the fans aren't that distracting because like when they're outside of the ropes, they're doing their thing, talking like white noise basically, like whatever. Yeah. A lot of times my personal issue is the volunteers always are like saying quiet because I play super fast. So like I'm over the ball and about to pull it back and they're like telling people to stand still and be quiet. And honestly, like they're sometimes more distracting for me personally. So like that's a little frustrating because you also like, you want to be nice to them because like they're obviously helping out and you need them at the tournaments, all that. But it's always frustrating when it's like, all right, everything's good and they're telling people to be quiet and you're like, all right.
Because a lot of guys take a long time to set up at their ball.
So I'm almost like pulling it back.
You stand over the ball and swing.
Yeah. So it's like sometimes I have to back off.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but overall it's been.
Oberg does that too.
Yeah, he's super
Oberg
fast.
walks up. He does his one little move backwards, and then
Yeah.
just hits it and starts walking.
God,
That's the way I
And
play.
Cupkid does it too.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do. Like,
Of course it is.
Take out the overthinking, bro.
Yeah.
Don't
God.
overthink
all
it.
that
Look at the
waggling and all
yeah.
that standing
You look at the
over.
best, like in any sport, they're all fast. Like Steph Curry shooting free throws, the best kickers, all of them. It's like there's not overthinking and all this stuff. They just do it.
It's all reaction.
Just hold it and
Yeah.
think about what you're
No.
about to do.
It's being
Yeah,
athletic.
Tom Shaq and Tom Steph Curry and see what the times are. Like, you
Oh,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
Oh, for real.
Shaq's just trying to catch
Giannis.
rim.
I do want
Yeah.
to ask you this. This is just total hypothetical. Would you rather win 6 majors and it just be like 3 PGAs, 3 U.S. Opens, or would you rather win 4 majors and it be one of each? You win all. You
Probably 4 majors, one of each.
You'd rather just
I would-
win the. You'd rather you
I would
take
think
4.
so because that is. I feel like some people's careers are like. I mean, 6 majors is really good, but like it is kind of tainted when people win like all of the same one a little
Right.
bit because I feel like you could argue you're not as like well rounded, but I would.
If
I would
you
take
win
either,
all
but
4, that means you're amazing.
Yeah, you've
like
done-
there's
You can play
only
any style. You
You
can
can
play
do
any
everything
course.
there's
golf
only
has to
what
offer.
they
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
when Rory did it. There was only like what 4 guys.
yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
that
I mean,
have
because
ever
you have
done
to have. First off, you have to win 4 majors, and there's not a big list of that. Probably
Right.
15 people or something, and to try to spread them all out. Because like Scotty, I think's only won Masters. Is that right?
And the
PGA.
PGA.
He won
Yeah,
the
okay,
PGA.
he just won PGA. So he's only won 2, and he's had a crazy run. And like a lot of the guys, like Brooks is like still 2 away. Like a bunch of these guys, it's just hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say Brooks. Yeah, I thought that up because Brooks is kind of there. He's around there, and it would be 3. He's got 3 PGAs, and it would be 3 U.S. Opens.
Yeah.
he's finished second at the Masters twice.
Yeah,
I think British
the Masters
hadn't really
is
ever.
the one everyone wants to win. But I feel like the U.S. Open, when you're like multiple-time U.S. Open champion, it's kind of like a cool like vibe to it because like it's the hardest
Because
tournament, the
it's
toughest
freaking
tournament.
impossible.
You're like,
They make it
you're the guy that can
miserable.
overcome stuff like that. Which
Yeah.
the Masters is probably just as hard with the way the greens are and stuff. But like the U.S. Open, you're just tough and get it done. So that's kind of a cool.
Yeah.
If you had to win one multiple times, that's probably the coolest one.
Is the U.S. Open every year? Is it the one where you would hear the most F words from golfers on the course?
You hear a lot of F words everywhere. But I mean, honestly, I always say it's all relative because a lot of the courses that like it's super easy, sometimes guys will be playing great, but just like missing putts. And like that, honestly, that's just as frustrating as
Yeah.
making double bogeys at the U.S. Open when like you feel like you're getting lapped when you're like 1 under through 5 and the guy next to you's birdied all 5. So it's all relative really to like what the scores are.
Y'all
and-
trash talk?
no, not really.
You said
I mean,
there's-
you will
not
with your
fun.
friends, but
You said you
I
always-
wish it was more like that,
Yeah,
honestly.
we need more trash talk
Yeah.
in golf.
You said
man.
you always get stuck with like rookies and whatever. Like that's the way it goes when you're a rookie on tour. Any of the big guys going out of their way to be super nice?
Well, I've met most of them because, like, when I was playing really well in college and I had invites and stuff, like, guys had seen my name. So, like, probably the nicest interaction I've ever had, and they've all been good to me. Like,
Yeah.
no one's been a prick or anything. The nicest one I've ever had is Tommy Fleetwood came, like, out of it. This was in 2019. Came out of his way from, like, 50 feet away. I wasn't even looking over there. Came up, like, he's like, oh, I've seen you. Good playing lately. Like, I'm Tommy or whatever. And I was like, obviously, I know you're
Oh,
Tommy.
that's
But-
cool.
So that was, and he is probably one of the nicest guys on tour. Like, just genuinely a good person.
He
everything.
seems like the
Yeah.
nicest guy.
Yeah, so he that was probably the one that stands out of like he completely went out of his way to
Yes.
do that. But no, they've all been good. Like Finau was in my group one time at Torrey. He was great. I've had played his pro-am a couple times in Utah, and he's always just super like thankful for everyone being there and all that. So I mean, most guys are cool. So it's really everyone has respect, I think, for people that have like made it out there. I mean,
Have
there's-
you had to play in the pro-ams?
No, I have
Like
not
with
been-
amateurs yet, or no?
I've played some Mondays and then a couple on the Wednesday. Not really. Like most rookies don't really play them because there's 80 teams and there's 150 guys, so it's usually guys that have kept their card and stuff. But no, it's been good though. Honestly, overall, I wish I could shoot a little bit lower scores, but everything's been going well and everything's kind of lining up to do that. So
So
hopefully-
we got these 6 in a row. We got to make at least 3 of those
yeah,
cuts.
hopefully make all 6 of the cuts.
Yeah, we got to make at least.
Yeah, at least 3. Hopefully, I've always been a very like momentum style golfer.
Once you get going,
Yeah,
you
like
get
I'm
going.
not someone that's going to go like a lot of people go like miscut, 8th, miscut. Like I've never been that style. I always kind of been like play my way into a little bit, like couple 30th. Then you have that one week where you finish 5th, and you kind of like that's what happened last year, and then pretty much all my years on the Corn Ferry where I've played like well. So hopefully we can get some momentum and get in the mix. So
I mean, it's June. We're in the middle of June,
Yeah.
so June and July.
yeah, we're right around halfway through the season. So obviously it's still there's.
we're about to hit the stride.
Yeah, there's like 7 or 8 events before like the playoffs for me
Yep.
to get top 70. But then there's the whole fall of another 7 events or something like that. That's when I need to finish in the top 100 or 150 or whatever. So
Gotcha.
So we got some time, but we need to get on it.
You got to pick for this U.S. Open. I will tell you right now, the leaderboard. J.J. Spawn is 4 under. Then you've got Sam Burns Thurston Lawrence, Ben Griffin, Victor Hovland, who had a really good day, Siwoo Kim, Adam Scott, Xander Schauffele's gotten up there now, Thomas Dietrich, Sam Stevens.
Where's Brooks?
Brooks went +4 today, so
two
he's
over?
in 15th. He's 2 over.
I think I still like Brooks. I think that's my pick.
Brooks.
I think he's just been playing.
Me and
good.
Rose are
He's-
both bet on him last
He's
night.
got a good mindset. I feel like he's kind of. I don't know if you saw the interview. Where his
I
coach
did.
kinda
His
yelled
coach
at-
screamed at
Yeah,
him for
I don't know
45 minutes.
I don't know if I should look into that more or it doesn't matter. But I think he's. I don't know. I think he's kind of pissed off that he's like kind of falling off a little
Did
bit.
you hear what he said about the last time the guy screamed
Yeah,
at him like that?
Aaron Hills.
Was Aaron Hills?
Yeah. So I don't know. I think Brooks is. I don't think the scores are that important right now. As long as you're like 2 over or better, really 3 over or better, because I think it's going to be an even par-ish winning score. So I think if he's right there and can shoot 200 tomorrow, he's right in the mix. So I wouldn't want to play against Brooks in the mix.
He also
US
doesn't
Open.
make mistakes.
That
Yeah.
puts
You know what I mean?
Scotty. I mean, Scotty went 1 over today, so he's 4 over.
I think he's still in the mix too.
Yeah,
Of course
you're,
he
you're
is.
there.
Scotty,
Yeah, you're
Scotty's
there.
got to be pretty far down to be out of the mix.
Yeah,
You think it's under that wins it?
I don't think so. How many people are under par right now?
like 4.
Yeah,
Three,
it's
four, five,
definitely
6.
not.
There's 6
It always
guys
goes
under
backwards.
par.
Yeah, because I mean it's. Yeah, I don't think it'll be under.
I'll watch
Unless
out.
there's rain or no wind or something. If it's normal, it'll be even or over for sure.
Xander's always the one at this tournament. Like the dude's never. He's played in 8 U.S. Opens. The worst he's ever finished is T14.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's
pretty good.
crazy.
That is crazy. All right, well, we're going to be rooting for you every week, brother. Braden Thornberry, our favorite PGA Tour pro.